Welcome to the Storytime English channel. I promise you'll find content that's fun, useful, and totally worth your time. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. As you read Laura's journey, I invite you to follow her story to the very end. Witness how perseverance, love, and unwavering dedication can transform a life, uplift a family, and turn dreams into reality. Every challenge she faces, every sacrifice she makes, and every moment of triumph is a lesson in courage and hope. Stay with her through every chapter and let her journey inspire your own path toward determination, success, and the power of love. Hands of Love, Dreams in Motion. Introduction: A story of strength and perseverance. This story is about a woman named Laura, whose life reflects the power of determination, hard work, and love. From struggling to make ends meet to becoming a successful cafe and restaurant owner in New York City, Laura's journey shows that perseverance and passion can turn dreams into reality. More than her business success, Laura's true strength comes from her love for her children. Her tireless efforts to provide them with nutritious meals, guidance, and education inspired them to excel in their studies and pursue their own ambitions. Every challenge she faced, every exhausting day, and every sacrifice she made became a stepping stone for both her and her children's future. This story is meant to inspire readers to believe in the power of dedication, to embrace challenges as opportunities, and to understand that genuine love, patience, and effort can overcome even the greatest obstacles. Laura's life teaches us that success is not just about personal achievement, it is about lifting others, creating a meaningful impact, and nurturing hope for the future. As you read Laura's journey, I invite you to follow her story to the very end. Witness how perseverance, love, and unwavering dedication can transform a life, uplift a family, and turn dreams into reality. Every challenge she faces, every sacrifice she makes, and every moment of triumph is a lesson in courage and hope. Stay with her through every chapter and let her journey inspire your own path toward determination, success, and the power of love. Chapter 1: The Beginning of Life. In the bustling streets of New York City, a woman named Laura lived a life marked by quiet struggle. Her marriage had failed, leaving her without a partner, yet she refused to let that define her. Her 3 children depended on her, and for their sake, she pushed herself to work tirelessly every single day. Amid the towering skyscrapers, the ceaseless flow of people, and the relentless pace of city life, Laura's existence was filled with constant challenges. The misfortune of her marital life was a wound she carried silently, yet it also fueled her determination to provide stability and nourishment for her children. Every morning, rain or shine, she navigated the crowded sidewalks, making her way to a small coffee shop in Midtown Manhattan. There, Laura worked as a waitress, a job that demanded both strength and precision. She greeted customers with a warm smile, attended to every table meticulously, and ensured that every order was perfect. Her responsibilities included managing the cash register, keeping the orders organized, and making sure every patron left satisfied. Her hands were constantly busy, yet behind her gentle smile lay an unyielding resilience and inner strength. Though she had no spouse to share her burdens, Laura's work was not just a source of income, it was the means by which her children could have an education and a chance at a brighter future. Each coin earned, each plate served, was a small step toward security for her family. Success for her children was the anchor of her daily life, giving her the motivation to rise each morning despite exhaustion and doubt. In the streets and alleys surrounding the cafe, people noticed Laura's dedication. Her consistent effort and determination did not go unnoticed. Neighbors and passers-by admired the way she balanced her heavy workload with grace. They watched her tirelessly serve drinks, clear tables, and attend to the countless demands of a busy cafe, recognizing the strength it took to provide for her family in a city that never paused. Each day presented new challenges, late orders, demanding customers, long hours, but Laura faced them with quiet fortitude. Her routine was grueling, yet her purpose gave her energy. She was not working solely for herself. Every tray carried, every table cleared, every shift completed was for the future of her children. The city may have been indifferent, its streets chaotic and unforgiving, yet Laura's determination shone as a beacon of hope. Her presence at the cafe was more than just a labor of necessity. It was a statement of resilience. Her dedication inspired those around her, the young women who saw her, the neighbors who passed by, even the occasional patrons who witnessed her work ethic. Laura was proof that one could endure hardship and yet still rise every day to fight for the ones they loved. The foundation of Laura's life had been laid out, a woman whose marriage had faltered, yet whose love and dedication to her children gave her strength, a mother whose days were filled with relentless work, yet whose spirit never wavered, and a figure in the city whose quiet determination stood as a testament to resilience, hope, and the power of selfless devotion. Chapter 2: Dreams and Tireless Efforts. After months of balancing her duties at the busy Midtown Cafe, Laura began to dream bigger. She realized that while serving tables brought in enough money to survive, it was not enough to secure a future for her children. She wanted to give them more than mere survival. She wanted them to excel, to pursue education without the constant shadow of financial worry. And so she began to plan. She envisioned owning her own small cafe, just enough to give her independence, enough to create a steady income, and enough to allow her children opportunities she never had. Each morning, before the city fully awoke, Laura jotted down notes on scraps of paper. She sketched floor plans, calculated expenses, and imagined the kind of cafe she could run. She thought about the menu, the layout, the atmosphere, a welcoming place where hard work met hope. Every idea was fueled by the same purpose that had guided her for years: the well-being and education of her children. Despite the exhaustion of her day job, Laura refused to rest. After serving countless cups of coffee and clearing endless tables, she returned home, prepared dinner for her children, and then stayed up late into the night organizing her plans, researching small business loans, and exploring ways to provide extra tutoring for her kids. The nights were long, the work unending, yet she persevered. Sleep became a luxury she could not afford. Her dreams and responsibilities left her no time to pause. Her children watched their mother tirelessly working both day and night. They saw her sketching notes, balancing books, and reviewing assignments with them after school. Her energy, determination, and optimism inspired them to work harder, to study more, and to embrace the opportunities their mother was creating. Laura's vision was not just about money. It was about planting seeds of knowledge, ambition, and resilience in the next generation. Even on the most difficult days, When exhaustion weighed her down and the city seemed overwhelming, Laura pressed on. She negotiated with suppliers for better prices, researched marketing strategies, and sought advice from acquaintances who had opened small businesses before. Every small victory, a successful recipe, a carefully planned budget, or an extra hour spent helping her children with homework reinforced her belief that she could build a better life. The city streets remained chaotic and loud, but inside Laura, there was a quiet determination that no noise could drown out. Her plan was ambitious, but it was rooted in love, dedication, and the unshakable drive to ensure her children had every chance to thrive. She reminded herself daily that every ounce of energy she poured into her work, her planning, and her children's education was an investment in their future. Laura was no longer just a waitress surviving the demands of a busy cafe. She had become a strategist, a tireless planner, and an unwavering advocate for her children's education. The dream of her own cafe was no longer just a thought. It had begun to take shape in reality, fueled by her persistence and guided by her vision of a better life for her family. Chapter 3: Endurance and Faces of Encouragement. In every person's life, there are trials, and Laura's days were no exception. The effort of running her own small business plan, ensuring her children's education, and tutoring them late into the night left her body and mind utterly exhausted. There were no breaks, no moments of rest. Carrying out errands, managing sales, navigating the busy streets of New York, and checking every detail of her plans demanded constant energy and focus. Yet Laura pressed on, driven by a purpose greater than herself. Despite the fatigue that weighed heavily on her, what kept her going were the faces of her children. Their bright, trusting eyes, their small smiles, and their moments of pride reminded her why she struggled every single day. Every ounce of her tiredness seemed to vanish when she saw them. Their achievements, however small, fueled her perseverance, giving her the strength to push through challenges that would have otherwise crushed her spirit. There were times when Laura felt completely worn out, when her muscles ached and her mind begged for rest. Yet a glance at her children's faces, their determination in school, their curiosity, their joy, renewed her energy. She realized that every long night, every exhausting day, every sacrifice was an investment in their future. The faces of her children were not just motivation, they were a lifeline, a source of endless encouragement that reminded her she was not alone in her struggle. Even when the world seemed indifferent, when fatigue threatened to overwhelm her, Laura found strength in these moments. Her children's smiles, their progress, and their acknowledgement of her efforts transformed her exhaustion into renewed determination. Each day, no matter how taxing, she moved forward, knowing that her sacrifices were planting seeds of hope, knowledge, and resilience in her children's lives. By the end of Chapter 3, Laura had become more than a weary worker or a struggling mother. She was a woman whose tireless effort, perseverance, and unyielding spirit, fueled by the love for her children, allowed her to overcome hardship. Her exhaustion was no longer a burden, but a testament to her endurance. With each glance at her children's faces, she found the energy to rise again, to continue fighting, and to build the brighter future she had always envisioned. Chapter 4: Passion and Ambition. By the time Laura had been working at the Midtown Cafe for several years, she realized that surviving day to day would never be enough to secure a better future for her children. While the cafe provided a steady income, it could not give her the independence or the opportunity to shape her family's destiny the way she dreamed. The thought took root in her mind. She wanted to open her own small restaurant, a place where she could combine her skills, creativity, and ambition into something that was entirely her own. It would be more than just a business. It would be a platform for her family's stability, a way to ensure her children could focus on school without the constant worry of money, and a manifestation of her lifelong passion for cooking. Cooking had always been Laura's calling. From a young age, she loved experimenting in the kitchen, mixing flavors, perfecting recipes, and creating dishes that were not only delicious, but comforting. For her, cooking was never a mere task. It was an art and a source of joy. Even in the chaotic life of New York City, among crowded streets, noisy traffic, and the constant rush of people, Laura could find focus and satisfaction in her culinary craft. Every dish she prepared was an expression of love, both for her work and for her children. The aroma of simmering sauces, the precise chopping of vegetables, the care she took in plating every meal, it was all part of the devotion she carried in her heart. She spent hours after her shifts writing down her ideas, sketching floor plans, and calculating budgets for her dream restaurant. She researched suppliers, explored small business loans, and even watched how other local cafes operated, analyzing what made them successful. She imagined a cozy space filled with warmth, good food, and friendly faces, a place where hard work, creativity, and passion could meet to create a sustainable livelihood. Every detail, every thought, every plan revolved around one central purpose: her children. Despite working long, exhausting shifts during the day, Laura never allowed fatigue to take precedence over her plans. When she returned home, she prepared meals for her children, helped them with homework, and then stayed up late into the night refining her restaurant ideas. She calculated expenses, listed necessary equipment, and mapped out marketing strategies. Sleep was a luxury she could not afford, yet each sleepless night brought her closer to her vision. Every challenge she faced became an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. The thought of her children's future pushed her beyond the limits of exhaustion. Chapter 5: A Mother's Love as Strength. It was not just ambition that fueled her. Laura drew an unparalleled strength from the faces of her children. Every time she looked at them, their trusting eyes, their small smiles, their curiosity about the world, she found renewed energy to keep going. Their faith in her, the quiet belief that she was doing everything to secure a better life, became the most potent medicine for her weariness. When she was physically drained and mentally spent, one glance at her children's eager faces reminded her why she sacrificed every hour of her day, every ounce of her energy. She realized that her effort, her perseverance, and even her exhaustion were laying the foundation for her children's confidence, happiness, and success. Cooking for her children was not merely feeding them, it was an act of love and a demonstration of commitment. Laura carefully planned every meal, ensuring it was nutritious, balanced, and delicious. She experimented with flavors and textures, sometimes spending hours perfecting a single recipe so that her children could enjoy a taste that was both comforting and wholesome. And the children noticed. They saw the dedication, the skill, and the countless hours their mother poured into every dish. From a simple breakfast to an elaborate dinner, every meal was imbued with love and an unspoken lesson. Care and effort always bear fruit. This daily labor of love was a source of strength for Laura. Every time her children expressed delight, said a word of thanks, or showed pride in a meal she had prepared, her exhaustion transformed into energy. Their belief in her abilities, Mom will succeed, her hands will create something extraordinary, reinforced her determination. It was this cycle of love and encouragement that allowed her to rise again and again, ready to face another long day filled with challenges. Even when she was weary from long hours at the cafe, the thought that her hard work was shaping her children's future made the burdens lighter. Her dream of opening her own cafe was intimately connected to this passion for cooking. She did not merely want to earn money, she wanted to craft an experience. A cafe would allow her to apply her culinary creativity, manage her own space, and offer meals that reflected her love and expertise. Each idea she sketched, every budget she calculated, and every supplier she researched was a step toward turning that dream into reality. Yet, the driving force behind all of this was her children's well-being. Laura knew that financial independence would enable her to give her children more than meals. It would give them opportunities to explore, learn, and grow. Through every sleepless night, through every long day of physically demanding work, Laura's love for her children remained her anchor. Their faces reminded her that her sacrifices were meaningful. They fueled her determination, reminding her that her dreams were not only hers, they were for the betterment of her family. Even when she felt on the verge of collapse, the energy she drew from her children's smiles, excitement, and trust was enough to carry her forward. Laura had transformed from a tired, overworked waitress into a visionary mother. She had become a woman whose passion for cooking, tireless ambition, and love for her children allowed her to endure exhaustion, navigate hardship, and maintain an unwavering belief in her dreams. Her dedication to her children's education, her relentless pursuit of her restaurant plan, and her commitment to creating a better life had become inseparable elements of her daily life. Every meal cooked, every plan made, every sleepless night was a building block toward a future of hope and achievement. Ultimately, Laura's strength was born from the intersection of her passion and her motherly love. Cooking was not just work, it was her expression of care, her art, and her motivation. Her children's faith in her abilities, their gratitude, and their smiles became the fuel that allowed her to keep striving day after day. In her tireless efforts, she found purpose, and in her children's eyes, she found proof that every sacrifice was worth it. The cafe she dreamed of opening, the meals she prepared with love, and the education she nurtured in her children were all parts of a single mission: to create a life of dignity, opportunity, and success for those she loved most. Chapter 6: The Beginning of Success. After years of tireless work, careful planning, and countless sleepless nights, Laura finally reached a milestone. She had managed to save enough money to open her very own cafe and small restaurant in Midtown Manhattan. The dream she had nurtured for so long was now becoming a reality. Every note she had written, every sketch she had drawn, every supplier she had researched, it had all led to this moment. Though the journey to get here had been arduous, Laura felt a deep sense of accomplishment as she turned the key to her very own doors for the first time. The early days were not easy. Managing a new business came with unexpected challenges, suppliers arriving late, the first few customers being cautious, and learning to balance quality with speed in a bustling environment. Laura quickly realized that owning a cafe was not just about cooking, it was about managing staff, keeping track of orders, ensuring customer satisfaction, and handling finances carefully. Yet she faced each challenge with the same determination and passion that had carried her through years of waiting tables and raising her children alone. Slowly, things began to change. Laura's dishes were extraordinary, infused with creativity and her signature touch of care. Word of mouth began to spread as locals discovered not only delicious meals, but also a welcoming atmosphere and reasonable prices. Customers appreciated her attention to detail, the quality of the food, and the sense that they were being served with genuine love. Her cafe became a place where people felt both satisfied and cared for, a rarity in the fast-paced city. As weeks turned into months, Laura's cafe and restaurant gained recognition. Loyal customers returned, recommending the place to friends and colleagues. Her reputation grew not only because of her skill, but also because of her ability to create a sense of warmth and community. Laura's long years of experience, her passion for cooking, and her commitment to her children's future had finally translated into tangible success. The very cafe she had dreamed about in the quiet hours of the night had now become a vibrant hub in the city. The success of her business also brought a deeper satisfaction. Laura knew that her children could now enjoy stability, education, and opportunities that had once seemed unattainable. Every plate served was a reminder of the sacrifices she had made, the long nights she had endured, and the unwavering love that had guided her every step. She had proven to herself that perseverance, passion, and motherly love could overcome even the harshest challenges. By this point, Laura was no longer just a hard-working mother or a skilled cook. She was an entrepreneur whose hands and heart had shaped her own destiny. Her cafe had become a symbol of what determination and love can achieve. It stood as proof that even amidst adversity, vision and dedication can create success that benefits not just oneself, but an entire family. Laura's journey reflected a simple truth. Patience, tireless effort, and genuine care are always noticed, rewarded, and remembered. Her cafe and restaurant thrived not because of luck, but because she had poured her soul into every detail, ensuring that her vision, her passion, and her love for her children were present in everything she did. From the first day of struggle to the recognition she now received, Laura had transformed her dreams into reality, and in doing so, she had given her children the most powerful lesson of all, that hard work, love, and perseverance can create a future worth living. Chapter 7. A Family's Flourishing. At this point, Laura had risen from running a small, ordinary cafe to becoming a successful restaurant and cafe owner. Her business had gained recognition, admired for its high-quality food, warm and attentive service, and reasonable prices. The dream she had nurtured for so long had finally become a reality, and her years of dedication, tireless work, and love had borne fruit. But Laura's success was not the only sign of achievement. Her children were also excelling in their studies. Each child had developed unique talents and passions, achieving remarkable results in their respective fields. They were excelling in schools, classes, and extracurricular activities, gaining recognition for their hard work and determination. Laura's unwavering support, sacrifices, and encouragement had laid a solid foundation for their future success. While her cafe and restaurant brought Laura financial stability and recognition, the greatest source of her satisfaction was her children's accomplishments. They understood and appreciated her dedication, seeing firsthand the energy, passion, and love she invested in both her family and her work. This mutual respect and admiration strengthened the bond between them and motivated them to strive for their own personal and academic achievements. Together, Laura and her children embodied the results of persistence, hard work, and love. Her cafe and restaurant continued to thrive, while her children flourished in education, each carving out their path in their chosen fields. The family's collective success reflected a journey of endurance, ambition, and care, proving that dedication and love can create lasting impact and open doors to opportunity. Laura had fully transformed her life. She had built a thriving business from humble beginnings, and her children had reached impressive heights in their education, each succeeding in areas suited to their talents. As a family, they had grown stronger, united by perseverance, passion, and love, and ready to face the future with confidence and optimism.